Hey, Maxine. The... Oh, you like that.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is your friendly neighborhood Slytherin, Ren. Today I actually have a DEP video for you guys. I know it's been a while. DEP is an acronym that I came up with that stands for Declutter, Empties, and Panned. It's kind of lame, I know, because it doesn't really stand for anything unless you count, you know, Johnny Depp without the extra P, who I'm not a fan of anyway.
I said what I said!
I needed a way to differentiate my videos from everyone else's videos on the same subject on YouTube, okay? So I will have a nice playlist linked right up here of all of my DEP videos so far so that you can check those out. Please do consider clicking on that link and watching those videos after you're done with this one. Thank you so much. So I have everything that I'm going to speak on in these two plastic baggies right here. Someone's getting so chunky. Maxine, do you want to introduce the first category? So, declutter. We are just not wasting any time and jumping right into the most painful part of this video, really. I personally think declutter is the most painful of the three categories. Obviously, you don't get the same satisfaction as an empties, let's say, where at least you know that you were able to use up all the product and get your money's worth, even if it wasn't particularly your favorite, or something that you would look into repurchasing. But you know, if you value having a clean, organized space, just overall zen of the mind and makeup vanity, such as myself, you know that it's a necessary evil. So we'll start off, sadly, with the DEP eyelash fixer in black. For some reason, this one irritates the hell out of my eyes after a full day of wear, like with whatever false eyelashes that I have on that day. So the initial application and subsequent 8-10 hour day, I feel totally fine.
But by the time that I get home and I fall asleep without taking my makeup off, and then I wake up like 4 hours later,
I can't describe to you the stinging that I experience every time I use this eyelash glue. Only the black one. So whatever ingredient they have in here that's not present in the clear one, it irritates the crap out of my eyes and it has to go. Second declutter item. This one's kind of sad because, as you can see, I was well on my way to making this in empties. This is the RMK Lip Jelly Gloss. Is that the official name? Yeah, this is in number 12, Glimmer Pink. I actually brought this with me on my trip to Israel back in December of last year, and I used it like religiously almost every single day, but eventually it got kind of gross and gloopy. I mean, you can't really tell on screen, but when I apply it to my lips, it doesn't have an even consistency like it used to. And I'm not talking about the natural like thickening and congealing that happens to most lip glosses over time. I think that is normal, but this one just thickened up in a really weird way. Like now when I apply it, it feels like there's little globs of glue on certain areas of my lips, and then when I go like this and separate my lips, you can see weird glue-like strings. Yeah, so clearly it's not performing the way that it's supposed to anymore. I do think that part of the reason is because I brought it with me everywhere when I went sightseeing in Israel. So I can imagine that there were a lot of like elements and dust particles or whatever from the outside that probably got into the tube as I was reapplying my lip gloss so much in public. It's kind of gross to think about, but that's probably what happened. Oh yeah, and I also dropped it on concrete, which resulted in this nick right here. So I was upset about that too, but anyway, it's time to say adios. I actually really did love this color. It's a sheer hot pink with a bunch of gold glitters. Very nostalgic. It just reminds me of every Bonne Bell lipstick that I've ever had growing up in the early 2000s. This next one might make more than a few of you out there cringe, but I honestly am personally not too crushed by it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might recognize this. This is the Misha Glitter Prism eyeshadow single in GEX02. It was one of their limited edition holiday collection shades. As you can see, it's shattered because I dropped it on the floor. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh, Ren, you should repress it. You should transfer it into another container and make it a loose pigment. No. We don't have time for that in 2020, okay? It's going in the trash where it belongs. Sorry, not sorry. And you know what? Let me just drop another bomb on you guys. This formula is actually not that great in my opinion.
And
The glitter prism shadows, I mean. Like, yes, they make for really nice swatches when you do them on your hands or arms, and they might even work really well for like just a single all over wash on the lid and nothing else. But for people like me who are more inclined to use something like this as a topper coat, I personally did not find that it layered well on top of other colors. It was basically too sheer and you could never build it up past a certain intensity. I mean, they could still work well as an inner corner highlight, I guess, but either way, I think they're overpriced, overhyped, and it just doesn't meet the level of intensity that I personally am looking for these days in my glitter duochrome type of shadows. Alright, empties! For any of you who may be upset with me about the last item in particular, don't worry, I'm about to redeem myself right now. So the first item that I'm really proud of myself for sticking to and finishing, well actually I'm proud of all of these items, but the very first slot goes to Miss RMK. This is their Moist Cleansing Balm. I purchased this in duty free in Narita Airport close to a year ago now. It's literally just a thick, solid type of cleansing balm. It's thick when it's in the pot, but then as you see, it comes with a little spatula so you can sort of scoop it out, and then once you apply it on your face, it melts pretty quickly and you just wash it off with water, of course. I personally did not enjoy this product that much simply for the fact that it was just too oily for me. I think that if you have really dry skin in particular, this might be a good option for you, or something similar to this, because it's definitely moist, like the title says. Like, you don't have to really worry about this stripping away your natural oils or anything like that when you're using it. It is very, very thick and oily on its own, so it will definitely re-infuse your face with whatever moisture that gets removed in the cleansing process. But for me, since I have kind of oilier combination type skin, I just didn't enjoy the fact that the oil never seemed to really wash off, even though I would use this only while I was in the shower. So I was able to rinse my face really thoroughly, but I always just felt that there was an extra layer of oil left on my face afterwards that I didn't want there. It did its job well, I will say. Like, my skin felt clean, refreshed, and it didn't break me out or anything like that, but I just didn't like feeling that heavy layer of residual oil on my face. So, you know, different people have different needs. One other thing that was kind of a negative for me was that I felt the fragrance in this was a little bit too strong. It's a really, really strong rose scent. So if you don't like rose, you're definitely not going to like this. And it's kind of weird because I tried another one of RMK's cleansing solutions. I forget the name. It's in like a blue bottle. I'll put it up here if I can find it. But that one had a really strong scent too. And I think it's kind of ironic because if you just look at the presentation and the packaging of all of RMK's cleansing products, I feel like it has a very clean, fresh aesthetic. Like, you would almost expect them to be fragrance free, or at the most a very light level of fragrance, compounded with the fact that it's a high-end brand and it's a Japanese brand as well, which usually Japanese brands tend to be more conservative with the fragrance element. So it was definitely unexpected for me to find out that RMK actually has a really strong fragrance in a lot of their products, or the cleansing products. Okay, so my second empty is another cleansing product. This is the Bioderma Micellar Water Solution in Sebum. So this one is specifically formulated for oily skin. I enjoyed my experience with this well enough, but at the end of the day, if I'm honest, I don't feel like it really did much in terms of the makeup removal aspect, you know? I would always just use this as a final wash. Like, I would splash it on my face after I had done an initial makeup removing step with a product that actually removed everything from my face. So it was more of just a last step, splash on my face, catch any particles that I missed the first or second time around type of thing. For that reason, I think I'm good on Bioderma for now. I won't be purchasing from them in the future. I actually still have 2 almost full bottles of the regular solution with the pink bottle. So I bought 2 of these when I went to Costco last time. You can see I have not made much progress on it because, like I said, it just doesn't really do anything for me. Plus, it stings when it gets in my eyes. So lately, I've just been using this as a substitute for a brush cleaner, or I'll put a few drops in my Via Ramona what's it called? Viramona color swatch if I just want to spot clean my brushes in the middle of a makeup look or something like that. In conclusion, I think Bioderma is very overrated. If you're looking for a micellar water solution that succeeds at removing your actual makeup, might I suggest the Unlabeled Botanical line? I think that's what it's called. Unlabeled Botanical. It's a French brand. It's sitting over there on my other table. I don't feel like getting up, so I'm just going to put a picture right here if I can find it. Next item is this Skin Cotton Day Hand Cream. They have day and night. I really don't know what the difference is. I bought this on a total whim last winter because I get really dry hands during winter, and it was actually really good. It's one of the few hand creams that I found that doesn't give me that weird sandy residue, and it's also not like too moisturizing or wet to the point where I feel like it takes forever to dry. Would I go out of my way to purchase it again though? Probably not. As much as I enjoyed using this and I had no problems with it, I guess I just have a very high bar when it comes to hand lotions. I'm far from saying that I found my perfect forever hand lotion, you know? I haven't come across it yet. None of them dry down in that perfect way that I imagine. And maybe I'm asking for too much here, but until I find the lotion that can give me the closest desired effect, I'm gonna keep looking and trying out new brands and such. Okay, next we have the Kamiwaza Lash Serum, which was given to me by Meg a while ago. This still has a little bit of product left in it, but I can tell that it's definitely expired by the smell of it. Smells like something burning on a stove. It's really weird. Yeah, sad that I couldn't use up every last drop, but I do feel like I used this frequently enough where I can say that I'm satisfied with the run that we had. Same deal with the Maybelline Lashionista mascara. This is the waterproof formula. I actually wrote the day that I opened this on the cap. So that was March 23rd, and it has been pretty much exactly 3 months. Again, it's definitely expired because it's starting to smell funky, and while there's still a little bit of product left inside, all of the product that's left is dry and clumpy by now. But that's okay because I also remember using this one very extensively, and I'm ready to let go.
I'll never let go. I promise.
The last Empty. This one is probably the most bittersweet product of this entire video, and that is none other than the RMK Stone Blossom Lips in number 5, Tough Day. I still don't like that shade name, like who came up with that, and it's not something that you can really chalk up to being lost in translation because the meaning is quite literally like you're having a tough day, you're having a bad day. Why would you want to speak that into existence with your lipstick? But that aside, this is probably my favorite lipstick that I've tried in the history of lipsticks. I'm not exaggerating. Everything from the packaging to the finish to the shade, okay? I managed to get one final application out of this bottle for this video. I literally sat there for like 5 hours scraping up every last bit of product in every crevice of this component. It's just the perfect terracotta shade. I think it matches and complements my skin and undertone perfectly. It's long lasting. The finish is the perfect hybrid of matte and glossy. I could go on and on, but at the end of the day, I have to accept that it's an Empty now. There's none left, and this was a limited edition product. So I will probably have to come to terms with the fact that my lips will never experience a glory of this caliber ever again. But I'm glad I used it up because this thing was expansive. Jeez. Alright, and the last Empty is my Misha Cushion Foundation Moisture Type. It is all dried up. I really liked using this. I thought it was a really fair price, so I decided to purchase a refill in the matte formula this time because we're moving into summer and it's going to be even more humid and hot in Tokyo. Lord help me. Panned items. I'm gonna try and speed through this section because this video is already too long. The second shade in this Vise Riche My Nudie Eyes palette, this color scheme in particular is BE5, Beige 5. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a weird little, almost Legos type of design at the bottom. Like it's not a flat surface. I'm proud of this because I've had this palette for a long time, and honestly, if you were to ask me to predict which palette I would hit pan on the soonest this year, I would not have guessed this palette because I actually thought I was over it early in my usage of this palette due to the boring color scheme, but it turns out that boring is what corporate Japan wants. So Another pan that I hit on literally the same day as the Vise palette is this rando brown eyeshadow that I depotted from this super cheap like Kmart eyeshadow palette. I realized that I was only using that palette, which is actually an eyeshadow palette, for these two shades. Yeah, I was only using these two on my eyebrows. This is one of the rare makeup items that I actually would not mind if I never hit pan on, because it's just the perfect shade for my eyebrows. I can't describe it to you. Better than any actual eyebrow pencil or powder brow palette, this one just works for me. Like, it's so weird. Makeup, why are you like this?
Tell me why.
But yeah, I'm going to ride this one until the wheels fall off. It will be an empty one day, in all probability.
Unless I have a third life crisis and bleach my hair blonde again.
Okay, last but not least, my camera's dying. Cam makes Jewel Star Eyes in number 10, Heart Snow White. Heart, don't fail me now. Great budget topper shade. It looks stark white in the pan, but it has more of a pinkish sheen when you swatch it on the skin. Of course, that could change depending on what eyeshadow you layer it over. Probably would not repurchase though, because it is a cream formula and it's kind of finicky to work with. Thank you for watching. Bye. See you next time.